Well, General Sir Michael Jackson is the former head of the British Army. In 1999, he took charge of the Kosovo Force in the successful operation to end the ethnic cleansing of Albanians in the former Yugoslav republic. He joins us now live from London. Let's speak to him. Sir, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Now, you've been quoted as describing the situation in Ukraine as, to some extent, a parallel with the Kosovo conflict in 1990. In what way?
Yes, I wouldn't push it too far. I've been quoted, I hope correctly, as saying there is some parallels. Russia, in 1999, moved into Kosovo on the pretext, really, of protecting the Serb minority in Kosovo after the withdrawal of the Serbian security forces, both army and police. I think a closer parallel is probably the Russian action in Georgia, 3 years ago, was it, or 4? Where again, their explanation for military action into a neighboring country was the protection of a Russian minority.
Right. Now, let's just talk about this aggression that's happening in Crimea now. And of course, there's talk, too, that NATO might get involved. What's the likelihood of that actually happening?
In the Ukraine itself, I believe it to be remote. The military options for Western intervention into this very messy and tragic situation, I believe, are so limited that they're not really on the table. That said, there will be other countries which were once part of the Warsaw Pact, and the Baltic states, Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, all of them have long memories of being unwilling members of the Russian sphere of influence, or should I say the Soviet sphere, more accurately. Right. They will be concerned at Russia's interference in the Ukraine.
Right.
And so it may be prudent, if I may, it may be prudent for NATO to take defensive measures to reassure those countries.
Well, let's take it from the Ukrainian point of view. We know that a little earlier, Ukraine had actually tried to join the NATO alliance, but those plans were then shelved after the election of Yanukovych. Going forward, what would be the implications for Russia if Ukraine did join NATO?
It would be anathema in Moscow. Whether we like it or we don't, and I think most of us are not very keen on the Russian position, but Moscow does see the republics which are today independent, but which were part of the old Soviet Union. The phrase they use is the nearer abroad. And there are many Russian citizens who were previously, of course, citizens of the Soviet Union, where these boundaries were mainly administrative. Now they've become the boundaries of independent sovereign states, and therefore those Russians left behind, if I can put it in that way, have become minorities in a foreign land. And this is neuralgic for many Russians. It's hard to explain it, but I'm pretty certain that is the case. And to some extent, it explains the enormous sensitivity which we see coming from Moscow.
Right. We're going to have to leave it there, sir. Thank you so very much for your insight. General Sir Michael Jackson there, the former head of the British Army.